Hello, Facebook friends. So right now I'm at the St. Louis Urban League. I have the CEO Michael McMillan here, and also James Clark of the Urban League. Basically, they have been playing a very important role in dealing with the storm, in the storm recovery, and helping people basically survive what has been one of the worst disasters to hit St. Louis in a very, very long time. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Well, you know, we're making the best of a horrific situation, Elliot. Thanks for being here, and thanks for everything you're doing with us to
Tell me what you guys have been doing, Mike.
Well, you know, James has been in charge of the day-to-day operation of the street team, and so there are multi-facets of what we've been doing. So, of course, as you saw behind you, we have toiletries we've been giving out to the community. We have food, we have water, we have Gatorade and other things. Then earlier today, we organized a large event to give away plywood so that people can board up their homes. We've been giving away tarp and a number of other various resources over a course of time. James's team has actually gone out around the area. I'll let him give you the specific details.
What's, first of all, your reaction to, and I've been out in the community seeing this too, what's your reaction to what you've seen?
Elliot, you've seen it. You are from North St. Louis. I have never seen this degree of devastation. We made it through COVID, but this is something that has been unimaginable. Just the sheer devastation, block after block after block, home after home after home, family after family, senior citizens, single mothers. This is something that is just totally devastating.
What have you been doing? You're part of those boots on the ground for the St. Louis Urban League. What have you been doing?
Well, Elliot, first, this is our handprint. So we went door to door, and we did an assessment of over 521 families where we assessed who needed food, who needed water, who needed toiletries, who had babies that may need diapers. And then yesterday we returned with those items. We have delivered over 175 resources to families. Today we are doing, this is a drop-off center where we want to thank St. Louisans for coming out, dropping off diapers, dropping off food, dropping off toiletries. And so we are now looking to go into the next phase, which will be neighborhood cleanup. So we are working with some of the largest construction companies, McCarthy, Keeley. We also have Clayco working with us. So we are now looking to, as Ameren UE goes in and they move the power lines, then we'll have construction companies coming in to do tree removal, to clean, to clear alleys, working with St. Louis City, working with the St. Louis City Forestry Department. So we are looking at this thing and responding. See, we can never be caught flat-footed, because then you got a problem. So we are on our toes. We are being very, very agile. We have now our tarp and our plywood and our 2x4 distribution system. We've given over 175 families tarps and a plywood so they can begin to secure their home. So this is something that we were not prepared for, but we were ready for it, because this is the kind of work that we do year round.
Mike, you know, strangers are dealing with big events, big crises and catastrophe. You dealt with the pandemic and basically responded very, very quickly. How much has been involved in responding to this?
You know, it's once again an all hands on deck. So you talk about the staff, you talk about our board, our partners, our governmental allies and people that we work with in the bureaucracies and our elected officials. So really it's been what the Urban League was created to do, is be a bridge for all these entities to come together under one umbrella to then be able to give out the information, the resources, and then bring all those people into a one-stop shop. So even though our own headquarters, you know, as you've seen from the boarded up windows and glass broken up.
Kind of as well.
Yeah, no, our plaza is completely devastated to the point that it's probably going to be condemned and unsalvageable. And then the headquarters itself has received significant damage, millions of dollars of damage on the rooftop that actually had all of the
This is your
HVAC.
main headquarters building here?
Yes, yes. But it's in good enough shape for us to be the command center. One of the other things that James's team has done, they've been moving hot meals out into the community through the Urban League Division of Public Safety. Then they've been moving food boxes and the rest. But most importantly, in terms of what is our next step, this Saturday from 12 to 3 here at the headquarters, we will once again...
Give that address.
It's 1408 North Kings Highway, but many of us know it as the old Sears building, Kings Highway, Martin Luther King, and Page. This will not be a drive-through only. So anyone can walk up or drive through, and they can get all the resources that they can take with them in the form of food, toiletries, and other layers of information. So
And that's going to be when again? Let's read.
this Saturday,
Okay.
the 24th, from 12 to 3 here at the headquarters.
Let me ask you this. The mayor had mentioned that FEMA was ultimately going to come here. What do you know about? What can you tell us about that?
You know, we're not in a position to speak to when they would come. We obviously would love for them to be here and actually take applications and tell people about resources that'll be available. It's my understanding that the president would have to declare it an actual disaster site to activate all of the elements of federal funding that would make their way here. But it's encouraging to see that the governor and our 2 U.S. senators have asked for that. So I'm hopeful that based on them all working together in the same party and the same mentality, that hopefully that will manifest itself and it will come right here, and these resources will be available for people that really need them.
Number of people are asking about the National Guard. Do you think the National Guard should be called out and brought here into St. Louis City? What are your thoughts?
You know, at the moment, it has not appeared to be a need for that, but as this goes on, I think any and all options need to be on the table, because we've never lived through anything like this. The last tornado was 1959. Most people weren't alive or don't remember it.
I remember it going on Grand Avenue,
Yeah.
I think it hit our tower when I was at KTVI.
Oh, wow.
It hit that tower too, but I remember my mom taking me out to see that.
Wow.
But it's been a long time.
Yeah. Oh, a very
A lot
long
of people
time.
don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think when you look at the total devastation, you know, estimates are over $1 billion. And so, I mean, you've seen the sites. We've seen it all on news and on social media. It's horrific. There's so many people that are in need. And the big issue that we haven't even gotten to yet is the people that don't have homeowners insurance. What happens to them? How do we help them? How do we take care of them? How do we make them whole on top of everything else that we've been doing?
A terrible tragedy, and we look at the fact that 5 people
Died
in this thing.
Yeah, that have lost their lives. One of them was one of our Urban League Guild members, and so we're trying to get more information about her and to pay the proper respect to her and her family. But I mean, it's just horrible. You know, it was one of the things that we'd never expect to see in the inner city like this. You know, you don't think of this as tornado country. You think of that as like rural Kansas. But here it is.
And so you guys are gearing up, like you said, to the next step.
Yes.
What does the next step look like to you?
You know, next step looks like huge mobilization of resources to get them out into the community. So we're working on that every single day to get things ready for every Saturday. So for the next 4 Saturdays, we're planning to reactivate our COVID level humanitarian response, food, toiletries, resources, whatever we can get our hands on for people that they'll be able to get here. And then, of course, James and his team are going door to door for those, in many cases, that can't even make it over here.
How many, you guys gave away a lot of the food, toiletries, everything. How much were you guys giving away to help with 3,000 people or something on Saturday?
Yeah, no, depending on the site, 3,000 to 5,000 people, because you were there with us almost every single Saturday as we moved it around the entire region. And of course, we definitely need your help to promote it again, because we just now announced it today. So if people don't know that it's happening, they won't be able to take advantage of it.
And so tell them again.
Yeah.
You can't say it enough.
Yeah.
So tell them again.
Yeah, so this Saturday from 12 to 3 at the Urban League headquarters at Kings Highway, Martin Luther King, and Page. You'll be able to walk up or drive up and get food, toiletries, and resources to be able to try to take care of yourself and your family in this immediate area, in this immediate time. And obviously we're prioritizing and hoping that people that have been impacted by the tornado are the main ones that come, even though it's open to anybody.
Yeah, because I know during the pandemic, you didn't sit there and check IDs
No.
and say, well, are you from North St. Louis?
Yeah.
Are you from
Yeah.
here? There?
Yeah.
They just came, but you obviously are trying to reach out to those people who are impacted by this tornado.
Yes, that's the goal.
We haven't seen anything like this happen.
No. When you're talking about over $1 billion worth of damage, and you're talking about thousands of homes and businesses and churches and institutions, and it is a catastrophic level event.
How much is it going to cost the Urban League to do all this? And how do you guys pull the resources together so quickly?
Prayer and hard work, because as you know, right now, quite frankly, we're stepping out on faith, right? And we have some people that have said they want to help us. Individuals have been going online and making donations from $10 to $1,000 at ulstlhas.com to try to help us with the resources. So we're extremely grateful for that. And based on what we have always seen of St. Louis, we firmly believe that people will continue to step up, even though we don't have everything all lined up like we would like to. We believe that we will have everything that we need to continue what we have already stated we're going to do for the community.
Let's give the where people can contact you for where people can go to donate
Yes.
to the Urban League. Let's give that information again.
So it's ulstlh.com, and the first banner that you see is one where you can actually click that and make a donation of any size to be able to help us, and it'll go immediately in a restricted fund just for the tornado victim relief activities in our humanitarian account.
Do you guys have a Facebook page in case they didn't copy that down?
Yes. So we have agency Facebook at ULSTL. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
And that's Urban League.
Yes.
That UL stands for
Yeah,
Urban League.
Urban League.
STL.
STL.
So UL,
STL.
standing for Urban League.
Yes.
So if they want to donate,
Yes.
they can do so.
Yes. No, we need it. We appreciate it.
Now, are you looking for people to bring supplies as well?
We are doing that, and we're also trying to figure out if there's a way, because we've seen it with other disasters like some hurricanes on the East Coast, where individuals could go in their Amazon account and buy items and ship them here once they see the list of things that we would like for them to send.
And have you had people? You've had people donating supplies
Yes,
here? Is that
yes.
what some
Yeah,
of
so you see now individuals in the community coming up and donating items to be given away so that we can try to have additional resources for the community.
Any idea how much this stuff is going to cost you?
Oh, it will cost several $1 million when it's all over with, just like COVID did. And the other thing about this, Elliot, as you know from having been with us for years during COVID, this is a sprint and a marathon. None of this is going to be fixed right away. It's going to take years to rebuild these buildings and neighborhoods, and that's going to take hundreds of millions. But in the meantime, we got to stabilize people, because so many people, if you look at their home, they can't even stay there because the walls will collapse on them. It's not even safe to be in the building to try to almost get your life's most precious possessions.
And James, you're going to continue to be out there on the streets, and tell me about your continuing effort.
Well, Elliot, you can just turn around, and as people are dropping supplies off, they're immediately going straight into the van, and they're going straight out into the neighborhood. So we're not looking to warehouse any of this. We are getting it dropped off, and we thank all of the St. Louis residents that have brought out water, toiletries, diapers, and as soon as it is dropped off, then we put it on the table. One van goes out and another van comes in, and then if you look over there, Elliot, we are providing people with plywood so that they can secure their homes, and also 2x4s and tarps. So we look at what the real needs are, and we are making them available. So there's no need for us to warehouse this, because people need this today.
So you're saying all this is going They're bringing it on here.
People are dropping it off here, and they're loading it into the van here, right here.
And where will you be going?
We are going into the hardest hit neighborhoods. We have addresses of several people. We have addresses of senior citizens, and we're going right out into the neighborhood, taking them water, taking them trash bags, taking them the things that they need to really begin to get their life back into some semblance of normalcy.
This is what you guys do. And I'm going to ask Mike the same question, but I'm asking, this is what you do.
Every day. See, Elliot, we were uniquely prepared for this. You remember coming out to Clean Sweep over the years?
Yep.
That was preparing us for this. We have been doing triage in neighborhoods for years now. Now we're going to take triage into the neighborhoods. We have been doing door-to-door family assessments now for years. So my team, they are uniquely prepared. We have been working hard in neighborhoods. We have the strong relationships with law enforcement. We have the strong relationships with our construction company partners, with the Regional Business Council and others. So while we are stressed, we know what we're doing.
Mike, let me ask you something. This is what your organization does. Last time I saw you on something on this scale, it was the COVID pandemic crisis.
Yes.
This is what you do.
Absolutely. And really, if you go back all the way to our origins 107 years ago, we were created as a result of the East St. Louis race massacre to literally step into the void, provide people with resources so that they could get their lives back in order, and then help them get jobs, economic opportunity, housing, and rebuild from that disaster. So literally, we've been doing this no matter what the tragedy has been all these various years, and we're going to keep doing it.
What message would you send out to those affected by this?
You know, that you have our sympathy, our empathy, our support, and that you have a friend in the Urban League, and that we're going to do whatever it is that we can to try to help you, to try to bring resources to bear to assist. And anything that we can get our hands on that we can assist, we want to get it right out into the community. And we're going to, the staff know, we are in full-blown 24-hour-a-day mode. We have to work around the clock. We'll be back to work in 6 and 7 days a week and distributing any and everything that we can, because people need it right now. They don't need bureaucracy. They don't need a long process to apply for all these they need it today. And so that's what James, the rest of the team, and the whole agency are working to do.
And like you said, this is personal for you as well. Not only damage to your business, but having lost someone you knew in this storm.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the tragedy is almost unspeakable when you think about the magnitude of this coming off of everything else that has happened. It's been quite a year. And, you know, it has not been easy for a lot of people, and they're going through an enormous amount of trauma dealing with this mentally and physically and financially. And we want to be there to help them. And so we got friends like you that will help us to put the word out there. And we have an amazing team of 350 staff to get out there and actually help make the difference, bring the resources, 80 board members and thousands of volunteers, supporters, and friends, and random people that have never even been a part of the Urban League that you see here with us today, coming to drop off anything that they can to be of assistance to their neighbors that are desperately in need.
These are people actually dropping off supplies here?
Yeah, as you see it in real time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Great job. Thanks, James.
Thank you, Elliot.
All right, and I'll see you Saturday, if not before.
Thanks. Friday night when you come and do like you used to do and say tomorrow.
Well, no doubt.
It's about to go down.
No doubt, and I may just do that. Just to let people know.
Yeah.
So, guys, you've heard the folk here with the St. Louis Urban League, and they are very much involved in this effort to help people deal with this tragedy, which is the only way to describe it. And you can see, look at some of what people have been bringing here, and some of the items they've been donating, whether it's water, whether it's toiletry. They've been bringing all kinds of supplies here, Gatorade, and hey, how you doing, buddy? Gatorade and everything else that people have been bringing and donating. I'll get to it. People have been donating and everything and bringing here, and you see people coming to donate. These are just folk who are donating, citizens who want to be a part of it. People ask, where can we donate? What can we do? There's St. Louis Urban League that you can donate to them, to their work. You can come by. They have a place to drop off supplies, which is what you see. Folk coming by with supplies. Look at this, guys. Let's look at this. People are doing their part. So I have people asking me all the time, how can we help? What can we do? Well, this is what you have. People donating supplies and everything, and then they take those supplies and they bring them over here and they load them in this van, right? And then they hit the streets. They take them out into the neighborhoods to give them to people who need them. I'm going to ask Mike one more question. Mike, there's a question I forgot to ask you. I was out on near O'Fallon Park yesterday, and I saw in every corner people setting up little deals where they were giving away food and water. What do you thought about the community kind of coming together to help itself as well?
You know what, at these moments when in many ways people are so cynical about institutions and government and corporations and businesses in the world overall, something as tragic as this has shown that there is still good in the world, because you see all kinds of people on their own, not even a part of an organization, small churches, small not-for-profits, large not-for-profits, and all these people just driving down even Kings Highway, driving down Page at the O'Fallon Rec, over on MLK, just setting up on their own with no major corporate backing, no major sponsorship. Let me go to Sam's Club, let me go to Costco, let me go to Walmart and buy up a whole bunch of items and give them to people that I know are in need. And it shows the community supporting itself. So when you think about love of St. Louis, and sometimes we have a tendency to be down on our city,
especially North St. Louis.
This shows you that people really want to help each other at a strategic and horrific time, because when you're going through the worst thing that you've ever experienced, that's when you remember who helped you the most. And you see it's all over the place. Large, small, medium, everything, everybody. I love it. I love it.
James, I'm going to ask you that same question. You're out in the streets all the time. It was amazing for me to see all the little stands that were set up where they were giving away bottles of water, giving away food, even folk in the middle of the street giving it away to cars passing by. Yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
Elliot, what you're seeing right now, what you're seeing right now is the silent majority stepping up. See, 10% of the people create the atmosphere, and 90% of the people have to suffer through it. This is giving those who are soulful people, who have the right spirit. We're responding to this. So I always knew that this energy was here, but it's situations like this that bring out the best, where people who are God-fearing and people who understand that they have a purpose in life, they normally sit on the sideline and let the buffoons lead. Now we're stepping up, and now my challenge is we got to start back speaking to each other. We got to start back saying hello. We don't even want to speak to each other anymore. And we got to look at how we keep this going.
How does it make you feel when you see this? When you actually drive by and you see it, and you see people saying, hey, you want some water? And it's free. Or you want a sandwich? How does it make you feel when you see that?
It restores my faith in humanity. 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 It lets me know that good people still have power. And so it's situations like this where we see people dropping food off, and then my staff immediately loads it into the van. We're not putting it in a closet. We're taking it right out. So the food comes in and it gets in the van and it goes right out into the neighborhood. So Elliot, I'm very encouraged, and when I see people stepping up, I'm energized. So James Clark has been running on fumes now since day one, but it's this kind of energy that gives me what I need to keep going.
James, thank you, sir.
My man.
Appreciate it.
My man.
So that's James Clark of the Urban League. Let me see if I can do this. I think I hit the wrong button again. Okay, James Clark with the Urban League, and we also talked to Michael McMillan, President and CEO, about all the efforts that they are making. And we also talked about what the community is doing itself. I was out, like I said, around O'Fallon Park yesterday, around West Florissant and Harris, and there were just members of the community had set up stands to give away sandwiches and toiletries and give away bottles of water. They even had folk who were standing in the middle of the street giving items away to cars as they passed by. Just an amazing show of the community stepping forward to help others in the community who were suffering as a result of this storm. You can see these items that people have come and have donated here, and they continue to come in, continue to donate it, and they just as quickly get it out to the community. They're out there every day. Talking about boots on the ground, the Urban League has boots on the ground, as do a number of organizations. Boots on the ground to help St. Louisans deal with this crisis. This is a crisis. It's every bit as worse than a number of other occurrences that we have that have been crisis. This is one of the worst. I asked Mayor Kara Spencer that question. Is this one of the worst crises to hit St. Louis? Obviously, her answer was absolutely yes. So this is a crisis. And I gotta say this, Facebook friends, I've had some people try to interject politics into this. I wrote a post about that today. I've had one person say, well, you're essentially trying to say, you're treating Kara Spencer better than you did treat Tashara Jones when she was mayor. You know what? I have one response to that. One, it's not true. Two, this is not the time for petty politics. This is not. Tashara Jones is gone. Kara Spencer is the mayor, and she basically is in charge of the response. So she's the person now who has to get it done. I'm not going to get wrapped up in petty politics. Why? Well, because this is a crisis, that people are dying right now. I mean, people have died in this catastrophe. 5 people have lost their lives in this catastrophe. 28 people are injured in this, have been hurt. 5,000 buildings were damaged, and you have just any number of people wondering how they're going to fix up their homes. Many may not have had the means to fix it up. And don't. This happened in a poor area. It happened in an area where people don't have a lot of discretionary income, and so they're in a bad way. They're wondering how they're going to get it done. Right now, they're waiting for FEMA to come in and give them some resources so they can help fix up their homes. So what I would tell people now is certainly not the time for petty politics. Certainly, I'm not going to worry about the politics of the past. Whatever we did in the past, that's gone. That's water under the bridge. But what's going on right now is people are really suffering. Organizations like the Urban League are doing all they can to help. Citizens coming out to do what they can. Just private citizens deciding that they want to do something and going to Sam's and buying water and toiletries and everything, just give out on the streets because they know this is real and that there is a lot of suffering in this community in North St. Louis. There are a lot of people suffering, a lot of people wondering what they're going to do. My view is no time for petty politics, no time to worry about the politics of the past. There'll be plenty of time for criticism. If you don't like Mayor Kara Spencer, well, there'll be plenty of time, plenty of occasion to criticize her. I was criticizing her to no end before this started, before the crisis hit. But I know when to take a pause, right, and deal with the crisis. Why? Because there are real people suffering. There are real people hurting. This community has to and has, for the most part, come together to deal with not only the officials. We've seen both the U.S. senators. You've seen the governor here. You've seen all the department heads, fire chief, police chief, churches like Mike Robinson and his church. And you've seen just so many people just come together, right, to make a difference in the lives of people who are in pain right now. That's what's important, not petty politics of the past. And so I would suggest that folk kind of step into the present, where people are hurting, where the city is struggling, where it's trying to come back with the help of a lot of people. I would ask those people who are ready to criticize because of something in the past, why don't you, here's a novel idea. Why don't you volunteer to help one of these organizations? Why don't you make a donation to one of these organizations like the Urban League that's actually doing something concrete, that's actually doing something important, or donate some supplies, just like a lot of other people are donating supplies. Why don't you do something yourself to help, as opposed to criticize or try to drag people to petty politics of the past? That's my suggestion. I'm going to stay on top of this, of course, my Facebook friends.